Well, how are you liking Midwest this year?
I think that I'll come back again someday.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're committing to it already.
Yeah, I mean, we may already have changed the front page of the website to tell people the dates for next year.
Excellent. Is this breaking news? Can
Well,
you break
sort
it for
of.
everybody
It
here?
was changed like an hour ago, so if
Okay.
someone randomly came across it, that's fine. We usually tell people at the after party.
Okay.
I'm sorry, not the after party. There is no after party. Actually, wait, I'm lying. There is an after party. It's called Loading Trucks. And if anybody would like to join us for it, free tickets.
And then after
And
parties
just
at your
push it
house.
in. Oh, I wish. After, I don't even go home tonight. We usually announce it at the stage at 5 o'clock. And I was talking with my partner Gabby, and we were like, oh, we need to change this over. And Gabby's like, I don't have time at 5 o'clock. Done. So we were like, yeah, that's fine. So I guess technically this is breaking news verbally here.
Let's hear it.
It is April 23rd through the 25th next year.
Excellent.
So one day earlier.
Returning to the Baird?
Yeah, except do you see that wall that's over there?
I don't like that wall.
I don't like that wall either, so we're going to go 100,000 more feet that way.
Oh my, incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So that's why you put friends in the audience?
Incredible,
Don't have
and
anything to say.
I don't know how my hips are going to end up at the end of the year because like just going back and forth is already like, oh, and next year, I think I need a golf cart.
Yeah. See, you should have a chauffeur. You
Yeah,
should not be
yeah,
driving yourself
yeah,
around either.
Yeah. Did you see the droids downstairs? I think
Yes.
that we should take one of the droids and have them put me in like a buggy and
Well, like a chariot
tote
or
me
something.
around. Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to Disneyland recently. They have a ride that there's like a droid on the front and it's like pretending to do stuff. I'm gonna just get one of those and go around and people will be like, oh, that guy's doing a really cool cosplay. And little will they know that I'm like secretly doing the show.
Right. So, this is your 25th year doing this. You don't look like someone who's old enough to have been doing this for 25 years. And I say that with love. I'm saying you don't look old enough to have done this for 25 years.
I very much appreciate that. We started the show super young. The first show that I went to that this is based on, so there was a show called Atari Jaguar Festival, or JagFest. And JagFest was on, it was a community of Atari Jaguar people that went from location to location. And we would get together at whatever location it was because we liked talking about the Atari Jaguar and nobody else knew what we were talking about.
You found your people.
Yeah, and that's really what it was. And so we wanted to find our people in real life. And in 1999, Songbird Productions, which I should stop at Carl afterwards, he's roughly there in the vendor hall right now, held a show in Rochester, Minnesota, JagFest 99. And me and Gabby and my friend Max, who is at tournaments right now, went to that show and we were like, wow, that was really fun. Let's do this in Milwaukee because then we don't have to pay for a hotel. We were 18. So it was like, oh, it would be way cheaper and we can afford this with our minimum wage jobs if we do this at home and people pay us. So like, in many ways, that was the real thought. And by the way, when I'm saying people pay us, it was $5 to get in. There was 100 people. We were by far the biggest one ever, so I was not expecting to jump into my money bin of cash like Scrooge McDuck at the end. And we also guaranteed that we would give all of our profits to the Boy Scouts because we were in the Boy Scout Service Center. And so we offered them to do the show, we did the show, and it was outstanding. We had 106 people come. They came from all across the country, and we had a guy who you talked with earlier today, Marty Goldberg, the one who I forgot to show up after his panel.
Great.
Yeah, sorry
Great
about
guy.
that. And
no problem.
welcome to the Midwest Gaming Classic, everybody. And so Marty showed up, and he was like, "Hey, I would love to do, like, show you guys this Atari stuff that I have, but I don't do the Jaguar. Can we share, basically?" And we were like, "Yes, done." And so we added him, and it became this like almost sharing of our interests. And then after that show, we had someone else, JD, come to us and say, "Could I share my interests next year?" And we expanded the next, and so he got more modern consoles. The next year, a guy, Tom, came to us, and Tom said, "Can I share my interests, which is pinball?" And we said yes, and we grew the pinball side, and then we had arcades, and then we had tabletop. And then every year there's something new that comes. Last year was speed cubing that showed up. This year it's speed puzzling. And people come to us and they say, "Hey, you know what? You don't have this. Would you like this?" And we say, "Yes, come on in. Be part of the family." And people get to go around and they see all these different things, and it's unique compared to what a lot of shows are. A lot of shows, they pay big vendors to come in to be like, oh hey, here's our museum, for instance, and they don't call it a museum. They have 1,000 consoles, or usually it's 25 consoles or whatever, and maybe they're all the same console or whatever, but it's the company that brought them in, and it's very deliberately like, this is what we're putting there. At our show, the people that set up the museum are all individuals that pick their favorite systems and pick their favorite games that they want people to play or they want people to remember, and they track those and they talk about it and they say, these spots are where my systems go and these spots are where my systems go, and it's so different because of that. The
makes it more personal.
Yeah.
Right? It makes them invested in the show.
Exactly.
They're not just an attendee,
Exactly.
they're part of it.
And that's true of everything that we do. I was just talking with a guest that came in, one of the actors that came in, and they said to me, and I'm not going to say who they are right now because I don't feel like I have that permission, but they said to me, you know, I go to these other shows and I sometimes say like, ooh, could we do this? And the other shows are kind of like, no, this is our slot, this is what you do. And he was like, I feel like this is a show that you come to and you say, whoa, could I do this? And you say yes. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, do you want to tell me that you want to do something? Because the answer is yes, then you can tell me what it is that you want to do. And as long as it's not like wildly inappropriate, it's going to happen.
Did you ever, and I know in the early years it was impossible most likely, but did you ever picture this when you started it? Or
No.
even the first couple of years, like did you even want this then? Obviously, it sounds silly to say now it's part of the system, but back then, would you have even wanted to try to put something like this on?
So I don't usually say this like this, but after the first year, there was this belief that we might explode into having a ton of people there, and we were like, oh, that'd be really cool. Because we were selling games online at the time, and we were like, that would be cool, we could like sell more games online. We still sell games online. I don't have a booth in here. Because for us, like I guess that a lot of other shows are put on by vendors, and we don't do that at all because it feels uncomfortable to us. We want everybody to have the same level, and I would feel really weird if I'm like, yeah, come to my show, get a vendor booth, but I'm going to be up front and center, and I'm going to not be paying the same prices. I'm going to be doing everything else to make sure that I make the most money. Like that's wrong. And so our whole thing is just trying to make it as even for everybody, no matter what their size is, and bringing them in. And so did I ever think that that's what it was going to be? Not at the beginning. And then the other key part to it is that you said 25 years, although I haven't exactly done it for 25 years, because in 2005, we tried killing the show.
Oh.
After 2004, we got screwed by our venue. We were charged lots of money. In the first year, we made money and donated it all. In 2002, we lost about $1,000. In 2003, we lost about $3,000. And in 2004, we lost about $7,000. And as a pair that was on minimum wage jobs, what was happening is that we were paying 100% of our show losses from the online game sales that we were making, and basically working 12 months out of the year to have a show that would lose all the money. And finally we were like, this is the dumbest thing that we've ever done.
You've never worked so hard for negative money.
Why are we doing this? This is stupid. And so we stopped the show. And what happened, and this is in many ways the secret sauce of the entire show, what happened was we had a group email and say, individually they emailed and they said, what happened to the show? How can I bring it back? And we were like, shoot, these people also buy games from us and we are still in debt from the last show, so we don't want to tell them that the show sucks. We want them to buy games. And so Gabby and I were like, let's come up with a stupid bunch of things that they can't do, but it will seem reasonable. And so we said, hey, we need a place that's twice as big for half the cost, knowing that I had been to every venue in Milwaukee and it did not exist. We said, hey, we need a group to make flyers. And that those flyers, we need to get them guaranteed to be in 15 game stores, knowing that almost everybody had turned us down the year before, and without having dates, they weren't going to say yes. That would be ridiculous.
So you gave them the impossible.
Oh yeah, we said, the third one that I remember offhand is, we said you have to sit at ticketing all day. I mentioned this last night at a thing that I do in the game center after the hours close, and when I said the flyer thing, I looked right at Don and Liz Caldwell, who are the ones that made flyers, got them into 15 game stores, got them into 25 other places before we had a date. J.D. Norman, who was the one who found the location, actually found and forwarded to me the original thing. He found a place for less than 1/4 the cost that was 4 times the size. It just wasn't in Milwaukee County. Jen said, you know, I would be happy to do tickets all day because I'm going to bring my boyfriend Jeff and we'll trade off. They're married, they work in the museum now at the show. Like, that's what happened. And so whenever anybody comes to me and is like, oh my God, thank you so much for doing this. I'm so glad that you chose to do this. I did not choose to do this. Other people chose for this to happen, and they said, this is worth keeping. And so I get to be the figurehead that gets to sit and talk about this, but this is not my thing. This is just as much the thing for everybody that buys a ticket, and everybody that does a booth, everybody that brings a game, everybody that runs a game downstairs, everybody that does anything. That is why this show exists. And it's not me. And that's, I think, a big difference from a lot of other shows, is that a lot of other shows, there is that like reason that's like, this guy was very much into games, and so this is what he did. And here it is like, this guy wanted this show to stop existing, but everybody else forced him to keep doing it, and now it's really cool. So that's the truth.
It's a real testament, though, to the team, though. You know, like, they wanted to keep it going. You know, and so you put, and the fact that the people that you, like, when you're talking about the people you started it with are still here 25 years later doing it with you. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah.
And it's, I think when you build something like that, you don't know that it's going to take on a life of its own, but the people were so passionate about it. I mean, that's an amazing feat to build something like that.
Yeah, well, and the thing that's really amazing to me is that it's beyond just like anything that I would have expected to do. I had someone last year who shall remain nameless, but he came to me and he said, you know, I had this absolute tragedy happen in my life, and I had pretty much decided that my life was over and it didn't matter. And he said, and I was sitting there and I couldn't get out of bed, and I was deciding like what to do with my life and like not thinking of good things. And he said, and an email came in and it said, hey, what are you bringing to the show this year? And he said, and I sat there and I remembered that years ago you came to me once and you said, hey, I need you to be at the show every year. And he said, I remembered you saying that, and I thought, all right, I made Dan a promise, I need to go. And so he got up and he put together his stuff, and he wasn't happy about it exactly. And he came to the show last year, and he came up to me on Saturday night and he gave me a hug and he said, I would not be here right now if it wasn't for this show, and today I remember why I am.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
And so here I go again.
The things you do matter.
Yeah.
You know, and I think gaming in general, it's so easily dismissed as like, oh, it's, you know, it's a hobby, it's a gaming thing. But this industry has brought so many people together, and we're so passionate about it.
Yeah.
You know, and like I was saying this story earlier, but I did a tour of the Children's Hospital with Dave about a year and a half ago, and you know, we went to a room, we played some games with the kids, and it was heartbreaking. A kid came in, you know, carrying multiple bags of fluid and multiple IVs hooked up, and he looked completely defeated and deflated. And we sat down, Mario Kart was playing, someone handed him a controller, and his posture changed. He like perked up. I mean, he was slumped over, he perked up, started smiling. Gaming made his life better. And I think that this show is a big piece of that too. I think it's the same thing.
Yeah, so when I was a kid, I was picked on a lot, and I went to the arcade, and my grandpa would give me money at the arcade, and I loved playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because Turtles were really cool. And I put my
Turtles rule.
Yeah, I put my quarter in the Donatello slot because he's the best. And anybody else that walked up, didn't matter their age, gender, race, ethnicity, whatever, instantly a friend. You get the guys on this side, I'll get the guys on this side.
Yeah.
Oh, you need that pizza more than I do. Like that in a game where I didn't have money to pay for my own games beyond what my grandpa gifted me. So like for me to give up a pizza to someone else meant that like I care about them. The game could end and you can go and talk to them in a way that you can't otherwise. I just met, and I'm not sure if he came back here or not, but there was an 82-year-old guy here that they're filming a documentary on.
Yeah, they were over by the table. Yeah, we met them. Yeah.
And so they're filming a documentary on him. And he came over to me and we shook hands and we were talking. He has a little bit of trade show background, so he was like, this is incredible, but I can't believe that you actually set this up. Like, I did not, I just paid people to set up my trade shows. And I was like, great. And I was like, good, you want to come load a truck with me? And then we started to talk back and forth about different games and stuff like that, and we were joking, and again, it's an instant leveling thing. It doesn't matter that we were so significantly different in age, we have a bond.
I was talking to Paul about that, yeah, like you look out in the crowd and you see a family with a 5-year-old, and then we met him, you know, and you're like, this age gap is incredible, and we're all here for literally the same thing.
Yeah, we're all here because of what's going on. And like, what I always tell people is that the first year that you come to our show, you come because of the games, and the second year you come because of the community. And like, the games are so important, but it's more the people that you actually stay for. And what's crazy, what's wild, is that so many people have come to our show that have been here for year after year after year. And when I walk around, it's like the weirdest thing, because everybody's like, hey Dan, and I'm like, hey, to like almost everybody that's here. And it's humbling, because like how I got placed at this when I tried killing it is just, ooh, and I'm glad. It needs to exist. So much in the world pulls us apart nowadays.
Yes.
And companies have figured out that, you know, let's pull them apart so that they can keep raging at each other and stuff like that. And here we are, a thing that says, no, we can put things together. My mom just wandered over because she was like, I think I hear my son talk.
Hi, Mom.
So if you want to interview her next, we can do that.
Are you as proud of him as we are?
Just for the record, she said, oh, I can't tell you this. I don't think that was picked up on the stream, so just in case anybody else wants to check.
That's right. We'll roll back the footage over here.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, and I want to say a big thank you to you because of what you let us do today. So for anybody who doesn't know, Dan graciously gave us the opportunity to have this stage to talk about Extra Life and to try to raise money for the Children's Wisconsin. But it wasn't just giving us a table. Like, you gave us trust, and you trusted us with your guests, and you trusted us with attendees, and you trusted that takes a lot. Although I feel like we have met in person before, but because I see you now and I'm like, I feel like we've talked before. But
probably.
You know, like
have you been
face
here
to face.
before?
I have. This
then
is
I'm
like,
doing,
I would feel so, right?
Mm-hmm. That happens.
But and I always remember faces. I'm terrible with names, but I always remember faces. But this was a huge opportunity for us. What you did with the pre-orders, I mean, that's a game changer for us. That's not a little thing, you know, it really isn't. And this whole day, and like, I hooked up with the Gen X Gamer YouTube guys, and he's like, I didn't know what Extra Life was. We do 3 streams a week. We have 177,000 YouTube subscribers.
Yeah.
You know what? Here's my number. Like, talk to me about it. We're gonna talk about Extra Life later. Like,
yeah, and that's what this is all about. It's making those connections. It's finding those people. And like, there are people that have met here. There are people that have been married at the show.
Oh,
there
man.
are people that have. There's all these different things that have happened because of that. There's people that are in business together. There's all these different things, and it changes people's lives to have made connections like that, and you never know. And I'll tell you the truth, my rule is that I'm gonna start by trusting people. And if they screw up, I'm gonna not trust them later. But until then, I've not been really burned by trusting people. Matt, who runs our entertainment stuff and has been kind of everywhere this weekend, came in the first time and said the exact same thing to me of like, you didn't know who I was, you gave me a room and you said do whatever you want in it, and I was like, oh my god, I have to live up to whatever this guy is thinking that I'm gonna do. And he said, I got there and I was like, yeah, I want to do this over and over. Now he's one of the main people that runs the show.
That's awesome. Well, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. You know, I have questions for you, but nothing I can say means more than just like how important this is to us. You know, and Extra Life runs completely on volunteers. You know, like Rob and I, we run game stores and we have full-time jobs and, you know, families and such, and then, oh, and by the way, we're also just trying to do this good thing, and that's tough, and you made it not tough. You gave us a chance to really show.
I was a little slow getting you the names, and I felt terrible, but that is how the show happens.
But you know
Live
what?
events are weird like that,
It's
so I
408.
apologize.
It's 408 on Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, we did it, you know,
Yeah.
and we did it, and it was awesome, and the show was awesome. I wish I could have, like, because I was doing this, it took up a lot of my time. I wanted to do more at the show, but this is so fulfilling. It was just excellent.
Awesome.
So I can't give you any more than just my deepest thanks.
Well,
Dan.
I
really
always
appreciate
say
you.
to people, you know, like, hey, like I said, I say to people like, okay, so you can never stop. And they take it very seriously, and I kind of mean it as a joke, but I've learned that I'm also kind of serious about it. So as far as I'm concerned, Sunday's yours as long as you want it.
That's incredible. Can we get an applause for that? Thank you so much. That's incredible, Dan. Thank you. Thank you so much. We had a blast doing this. So
Awesome.
if you'll have us back, we'll be back.
All right, so hold on now. I got to check something. So what console is this? I mean, you said we got to do some other questions, so now I get to do this to you.
So that would be the Atari Jaguar with the CD combo.
Very good, very good.
Ooh, with the 6-button variant controller too.
Yes, yes. Do you know what it's called?
No.
Pro Controller.
The Pro Controller. It is called the Pro Controller. Okay.
Pretty
Look
sure.
at Nintendo ripping everybody
I'm
off.
worried that I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's right. What is this?
That looks like a PlayStation 1. That's my favorite console.
Very good. Okay. Okay. I mean, I may take back the very good because of the favorite console part, but I'm not going to judge.
Well,
that should be easy.
That'd be the Nintendo GameCube.
Yep. There you go.
We got a pinball machine up there.
Yep, that's good. You got this.
Got an arcade machine there. It looks like a Game Boy. That's a Sega Genesis. An Atari 2600 controller and a Game Boy Advance.
Very good. Okay. Now I'm gonna see. Now we go into the hard mode.
Excellent.
Okay. So there's lore on this. I don't know that people know about the lore. These two are just kind of their own thing. Brian Allen, who's the artist that does these, that's kind of an alien from Attack from Mars, kind of. This is kind of a dude as Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot.
Everybody else that's on this is named and has a story, and it's associated with the show. Let's see if we can find any of them. Do you want me to go easy or hard first?
Let's go easy first.
All right, the easiest one is this. Do you know who this is?
That looks like Donkey Kong.
It is not. That is Danky
from
Kang.
I forgot about the myth, the urban legend.
When you walk into the show, the first thing that you see is Danky Kang.
That is true. The huge inflatable.
Yes. Yes, there's a very funny story about his creation, but what we've learned about him is that he's actually like an inside joke for people, and you take a picture with him and you post it online, and if you've been to the show for your first time, anybody that's been to the show more than once will reply to you and be like, Danky Kang! And everybody else thinks that you're psychopaths, but you instantly know, oh, that person's been there. And now if you run into that person next time, you can have a conversation about a whole world of games.
You're like, these are my people.
Yeah,
that's how we find each other.
It's a good fun thing. So we got a couple more aliens. I forgot that these two were here. Although this one does have a little bit of a meaning. So this is based on a character that I can't imagine the real name because we haven't been at the show for the last 2 years.
So, I mean, I know that he's obviously wearing the Mario outfit, but I don't know the name of that character.
So we jokingly refer to this as MGC. We got what was supposed to be a legitimate inflatable from China of Mario, but we had them put the MGC on his head. I do not think that it's a legitimate Mario inflatable anymore. And so we have jokingly referred to that as MGC. We also have one that we got at the same time that we call Derp Princess Peach because her head never inflates all the way, so it just looks terrible.
Oh no.
And then let's see here. Do we know who this is? This is the next easiest one. Here's your hint. If you find him, he's on a tabletop game. So he may be found in Tabletop Village here.
So I did see a big dragon in a tabletop area.
Oh,
I don't know the
close.
dragon's name.
His name is Dagron. Dagron Midwesticus is his full name.
Midwesticus?
So, Midwesticus.
Okay,
yes, that's his last name. He is a proper dragon. And then our final guy here in the center has been featured on posters for 3 or 4 years now. This is the hardest one because he is only named at the after party. He was created sort of by Jonah Ray and oddly by me in a comedy duo thing that they had me doing improv in, which is a bad idea. Any guesses?
I got nothing.
I didn't. If you would have gotten that, I would have been like, oh, this is insane. This is Quazo. So Quazo was named because we were doing this thing and at the after party, and Jonah Ray was, we were doing this like game that they made about improv. And so Jonah Ray, the comedian from Mystery Science Theater, and because the other person that was supposed to be there didn't make it, I was running around and looking and like, who will people know that's here? And I was like, it's me, crap. So I sat down And he did this whole thing about how, like, you drew a card that was like, it has to be a bad guy, you drew another card that was like, it has to be an alien, and so he was like, I'm Quazo! And for the rest of the day, people kept coming up to me going, I'm Quazo! And I was like, okay, that's hilarious. And he described him basically like this, and so the next day, as people continued to come up to us and say, I'm Quazo, it was like, we should actually figure out what Quazo is. And so Brian Allen created Quazo. And this is officially Quazo. By the way, his name is always capitalized, Q-U-A-Z-O, all caps, no lowercase. Critical feature.
I mean, this deep dive of MGC lore is incredible.
Yeah, I figured that would be a good ending because
I love it.
At most of the other things I go through some of the same stories, but you get the fun poster for the year behind you.
I mean, the
This
art's
is,
incredible.
Yeah, this is this year's poster because it's, the idea of this year was where all gamers come home. And the theory is that they're all coming here to see us, and everybody here is coming here to see each other.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
I'm gonna give you a hug when we stand up.
Yeah, please.
You really did a lot for us, man, and I can't.
I did?
You did.
Which part? The forgetting the panel part? Or the not giving you the name part?
Hey,
or
man.
What?
Greg,
I'm doing good, man. How you doing, brother?
I'm busy. I
Yeah.
want to get a picture, just like both of you on either side of that Midwest gaming class, because you guys studied it all in depth. I want to like.
Yeah, now you know all the lore.
Yeah, now if you don't remember that, he's gonna quiz you next
Oh yeah,
year.
the pop quiz I failed.
Quazo.
Quazo.
All right, let's go there.
You want
Quazo.
in more?
Okay.
You want me to bring Quazo?
If I could just move this microphone.
Dank,
just
this
ever
is
so
why
slightly.
Danky looks so mad. The first year is kind of clusterfucky because it's all like,
We're just gonna give a quick
and then
send
next
off.
year
Just
you
wanted to
kinda
say
know
thank you
how
everybody for
things
watching the
are,
stream.
and then,
And appreciate everybody for hanging out. So, saying bye, Rob.
Yeah, bye everybody. Thank
Bye.
you so much for tuning in.
Thank you so much for sticking with us
Yes.
today. It was an amazing stream.
Hopefully everybody learned something and had fun.
Yeah.
I did.
I did. I learned a lot.
I didn't think I could love video games more, but now I do.
I learned I gotta be Christopher Sean's new best friend because that dude's awesome.
Alright,
He's just a
Chris,
blast.
He's gonna be loading
You
a
can
truck
enter
with me
Chris.
soon.
Is he really? He's gonna help you load a truck?
I guarantee it.
This dude's so nice.